Welcome to Momversations. I'm Regan Barnes, founder of Momavate, and I have with me in person today Stacey Green. And she is the founder of the Utah Birthplace, which is in Provo, Utah County. But she made the trip up to be with me today here. And I'm so grateful. This is really fun to have you, Stacey.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a minute to tell us a little bit about you as a person first, and then we'll keep working our way through to where we find out more about the Utah Birthplace.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. I have been married for 18 years. We have 3 children. Our oldest is almost 16, and then a 13-year-old, and then my youngest is almost 10. He'll be 10 next month. So
it's funny, those ages aren't too far apart, but those are very different stages of life.
I have one in high school, one in middle school, one in elementary.
Still in elementary.
So
yeah, you're in 3 different schools.
Yes, wow. It's been a little bit crazy this year.
Yeah, my goodness. And genders.
I have 2 girls and a boy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're getting to experience it all different kinds of ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
The hormones that are different.
That has been fun with the 2 teenage girls.
Yes. Yes. But I have twins and I survived. They're about to turn 20. So
oh, good.
they won't be teenage girls anymore.
Yeah. So there's an end in sight.
Yes, and they bless their hearts. They had to put up with me, right?
So yeah, it's true. It's true.
And have you always lived in this area?
Yes, I actually grew up in Riverton, so not far. And I'm in Saratoga Springs now, and then my parents are in Lehigh now, so we're close. And
that is nice. Yeah, I love having family nearby.
Yes, it's been good.
Cool. All right. Well, we picked out a few fun questions to just get to know you better and hear your stories. I really think as moms, that's something that nourishes us, is getting to know other moms and hearing those stories just about what life is like for them. And it helps us. It nourishes us is one of the best words.
Yes, yes.
You can feel it from the inside out. So let's start out with a cherished memory you have of being with your kids at any age or stage.
Oh, I think my favorite, I love just spending time with them. We have a lot of fun, especially now that they're older and we can joke around with them a little bit more. Of course, I loved the little stage though too. I look back at
cuteness.
Pictures and videos, and I'm like, what happened to my babies? I realized just a month ago that all of my kids will be double digits next month. And that was a huge shock. I think the biggest memories I have, probably vacations, but more than that, I'm so proud of my kids. They're such amazing human beings, and they are so compassionate and I'm proud of the things that they have been able to accomplish. Yeah. And so that is amazing. That is probably my biggest thing. Just all of them are so, I don't know, individualized. And I just love that part.
Yeah. Yeah. That's neat. And discovering those personality traits.
And who they are and as people. Yeah. I love that.
That's awesome. How have your children inspired you to pursue your dreams?
I think more obviously giving birth to my oldest is where I found my passion and love for doula work.
Cool. In case there's anyone who doesn't know that word doula, would you take a quick minute?
Oh, sure.
I can interrupt you.
Yeah. So I'm a birth and postpartum doula. So I help really families, especially women, prepare for birth. And it doesn't matter what type of birth they are really wanting. A doula is there for all the emotional support, education, physical support and positioning and things like that. So, yeah, I do a lot of that. People always ask me what the difference between a doula and a midwife is. I say, basically, I don't do any medical.
Yeah.
A midwife takes the place of your OBGYN. I am there to help support you physically and emotionally and prepare you for all of it, but also your spouse, the birth partner. A lot of times they really want to be involved, but don't know how. And
So
don't really know
it's
what
like
to do.
you are coaching the coach.
Yep, exactly. That's my favorite clients are dads that really want to be involved, but just don't know how.
Yeah.
So, so that is definitely where, how I got into doula work. Laboring with my oldest, we had taken a ton of classes and things through the hospital. And then once we got into labor, we had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
And my sister brought up, like, there's people that do this. And I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
But I did wait until after I was done having all of my children. And once my youngest went to school, I decided it was time for me to do something that I really wanted. And for me, doula work was easy because I could still be at home with my children.
Yeah.
Because I was a working mom when I had my first two.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stayed at home after with my son. And so it was really just, I could be at home with them during the day, but also still find my passion for helping moms.
I love it.
In that. So yeah, definitely. I think that was a big one.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Let's think in terms of other mothers. And is there a message that you would want to convey to other mothers about motherhood in general, or these inspirational moments, or beauty and strength? And
I think my biggest one is find your village. Ask for help.
Yeah.
Motherhood is not easy.
Well, and how that relates to your profession as a doula is really phenomenal, because labor does feel like a very lonely thing. That baby is only inside you.
Yes.
And so to realize that there is actually people who are willing and able and knowledgeable, and that you can pull them into your inner circle. And granted, it's still you doing the labor, but you're getting that help. And I think that can be extended to the next phase of motherhood. And when you have that newborn who won't sleep, and then the next phase of, managing the teething, and then like, let's just call in for help and find those people who are knowledgeable and not necessarily experts, right? But just willing and they can empathize, if nothing else. Right?
Yes, definitely. That is a huge thing for me. I think just finding people, other moms that you can talk to, that might have other solutions that you haven't thought about. Resources, a lot of times, or even just having like an out, like being able to do play dates with your friends and their kids and things like that is really important. So you don't feel as alone. It can be lonely.
Yes.
And so that definitely, I think finding your people when your kids are especially young.
Right.
But even now, like, my kids are older, and I love connecting with other moms that have had younger kids, or have teenagers or adult children.
Yes, because you're getting there eventually.
I'm there. So yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I think that it shares a sense of value amongst each other when we're able and willing to ask and then share and that sort of thing.
Oh, lights.
Yes, here we go. But we will not talk in darkness. We know what we're talking about. We are the light.
Yes.
Right? Well, I really enjoy hearing these like perceptions and things from your angle. Do you have anything about how motherhood has transformed you? How it has changed you, like from the inside out?
Yeah, I definitely, especially now that my kids are a little bit older, realizing how much I neglected myself through the last 16 years has been very hard.
Yeah.
This year is my year of trying to find a better balance with work and with being a mom and a wife, and also just everything that I have to deal with. I think transforming that way, now it's really fun with my teenage girls. I get to talk about things that when I was younger, and going to high school dances and doing all of those things, and being able to help my kids through those hard times too. And I do think it's important for my kids to see me take care of me, because I really want them to take care of themselves too.
Right.
And
that's great.
So that's been a big thing this year.
Yeah. And that's interesting that it kind of took this long, right?
It did take a very long time.
Yeah. To accept that it's okay to have those moments of self-care. And I do want to share that you're not wrong for having made sacrifices in the past.
Right.
And there are times and seasons in life, and I think sometimes when mine were all really little, it just didn't sound possible. It just sounded, there's no way, like even when
we don't have time.
Yes, there's just no time. And so I'll just put up with it for the time being, right? But not allowing, like we kind of use the concept of the stove, and you have so many, burners on the stove, and that this one gets put on the back burner. But unfortunately, sometimes it just falls off altogether.
Yeah.
And you even forget that there was such a thing as self-care. And so being able to keep it all in perspective and realize, yes, there are back burner time frames, but let's not lose it altogether. And let's welcome it back to the front of the stove when the timing is right.
And it doesn't have to be, I like to include my kids too in my time. Yeah. So even just going to like groups, meditation, things, doing yoga with my kids at night, and things to kind of help regulate both of us.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea.
But things like that, I love, like gardening. My middle one was born on Earth Day. She is my Earth Day baby, and she loves gardening and just like she's all of the earth things. Yeah. So we started like a compost, and we love to garden together. And I love it. My oldest is she is an artist, and I actually went to college for fine art. So that's fun. We get to have a little moment and go and do things like that.
It's like finding your commonalities.
Yes. And my little boy, of course, he just likes to spend time with me. So he wants to go like grocery shopping or go do, whatever.
I love it.
Together. So finding those things that do take care of me, but also involve my kids.
I like that. It's enriching and involving.
Yeah. And it's teaching them how to do these things too. Like how to regulate and all of that, I think is really important. So I like to involve them.
And it models for them. Yeah.
And if they aren't able to come with me, I do talk about what I did and why I'm going. And so that's been really big for them.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So how would you say, as we're talking about this kind of transformation, how has your perception of motherhood changed over the years? That's part of the transformation, right? Is realizing that you went into it with a certain perception, but as time went by and reality settles in and things like that, what would you say has been one of those aha moments when you were like, wait a minute?
Yeah. So before I had my children, I actually was a preschool teacher for children with autism. And I was a little bit more strict, I think, when I didn't have kids. And then when I had kids, I realized you have to pick your battles.
Right.
And sometimes it's just not worth it, or you just like, it's really not as big of a deal, I think.
Right.
I'm a lot more like understanding and maybe more lenient with my youngest than I was with my first, which has its pros and cons. But I think just realizing that transformation of trying to be a working mom too, because I was a working mom before, and then I stayed at home, and then trying to build the birth center and things like that has been a little bit of a challenge. But I do also think that it's really important for my kids to see me go after my dreams,
Right.
even if I fail.
Right.
I want them to want to do those things too. Yeah. And so that transformation of just, I need to take care of me, and also this is hard, and finding that support.
Right.
But I think I've grown a lot as a mom. Yeah. And I feel like when you know better, you do better. That's and right. I just look back at when they were younger, and just now I think like I just didn't know better. Right. And so now it's trying to fix some of those things maybe, and also share with other moms that it's okay, and like things that I've learned throughout the journey of motherhood.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up the strict beginning, because I feel like I remember going to a funeral once of a mom who, I don't even remember how many kids, but it was a large number of children. Oh, yeah. And as they, reminisced about their mom, they said, she raised us with an eyebrow. And I really had to think about what that meant. What does it mean to raise your kids with an eyebrow? And at first, I think I got it wrong, because I started kind of scowling at my kids, like using my eyebrows with this like depth of force of like, hey, I'm scowling, you better do something different, Mm-hmm. But then at first, like I didn't really enjoy that dynamic, right? Yeah. Of always feeling like I'm upset with you. Right. And so I realized like maybe the key word there was raised. She raised us with her eyebrow, like, oh, like how delighted look for it, with those eyebrows going up or there's also the eyebrow going up of like, what are you doing, child?
I think it's interesting. Yes. I think you need to, kids want to know why. Yes. For me, I'm big on explaining why I do things the way I do.
I love that.
And my kids, I've had moments where my kids are like, well, you treat us differently. And I have to explain that they're different. That's true. So things that worked for my oldest did not work for my second or my youngest.
So like, you couldn't just go into the void of nothingness.
Yeah.
Something else.
I have to figure out something like punishments and rewards and things like that look different for different people. Yeah. And so trying to work through all of that is definitely like, some need a little bit more strict, and some need you to sit down and calmly explain things to them a little bit better.
And my husband is one of those nice, calm people, like all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And so he says, you and I make a great team. And in my mind, what he's saying is, I'll be the calm person while you have your little tantrums with the kids,
Yes. I think it's hard for moms a lot of times too, because you are that disciplinary person, but also you're the emotional support for all of your kids. Right. So you are trying to balance all of their needs and wants. And I think that can be really hard.
Yes.
As a mom.
Yes. And And it is nice. My mom was a single mom, so I didn't know what it looks like to balance it out with a spouse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I have been really grateful, even though sometimes I'm a little jealous that he's so much more temperate than I am.
Yeah.
But I will even say to the kids after I'll be like, now go talk to your dad and he will help you feel calm.
Yeah. I like that. That's fun.
Well, I am very curious in these last few minutes. I would love to hear about the Utah birthplace.
Yeah.
And when was it born, so to speak?
Yeah. So I opened October of 2023. Throughout my doula career and just being a mom, I realized there was a lot of different resources that people just didn't know about or weren't aware of. And then also just they're spread out everywhere. So I really I love birth, but I know like I won't necessarily be able to be a doula for a very long time, like a super long time. Most doulas actually only last 5 years.
It's a really rather physically intensive job.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if I mentioned before that I was a doula for about 5 years. That was about how long I lasted. And I'll still, if a friend invites me to be at her birth, I won't charge money or anything. But I'll realize at the end of that, I'll be like, whoa, I am so sore.
Yes.
And it's intense. So physically, but there's also the beautiful, and this isn't a complaint at all, but it's a beautifully emotionally intensive thing.
It is.
And
I get very attached to my clients. Yeah. But I've been doing it for 6 years, and I've realized that my body is not what it used to be. And I really love it, but I wanted to stay involved, even like long term.
Yeah.
And so the birth center was a way to do that and still be involved. But actually, it's a little bit different than any other birth center because I'm not a midwife, and birth centers are owned by midwives.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I actually rent out the space for any home birth midwife to use.
Okay.
So that clients can find a place that they love to give birth, but also who they want there. They can have the midwife that they want in a beautiful space. We also do classes. I work with another doula that teaches mindfully prepared birth classes.
Beautiful.
And then I'm trying to make it more of a community center for birth, postpartum.
I love it.
All of the things. So we do have like the birth suite, a backup birth room in case we have multiple women go in labor at the same time.
Because the full moon or whatever. Right?
Yes. And it's super, super rare, but we have a backup. And if not, then the birth team or family can use that other room. And then we have the classroom space. And then upstairs, I do have offices. So maternal massage is there, which is great because then they're qualified and like trained to work on pregnant women and postpartum. They also do like spouses and everything as well, but they specialize in that. And then the lactation collection has an office there, and they also work with a cranial sacral therapist that will come in. They hold free breastfeeding support groups twice a month.
Wonderful.
Which is amazing. And I love those groups so much.
I just want to go even though I have breastfed
I know.
for years.
I just go, and I love the groups. The women have found kind of their mom friends that way too, and are doing things like outside of the groups together now.
That's so great.
And then we also have Kim O'Neill. So she is a midwife. Okay. So she just opened her office there as well. So we have a lot of different things. I work with Mama Bird. So she sells some of her products there. Yes. She makes a lot of different like teas and salves and things. So I have a lot of that information. I have a lending library, so people can come in and borrow books or come in and sit on the couch and read a book or whatever, ask questions, things like that. And then I also have doTERRA essential oils that you can come in and purchase. So Yeah, trying to make a one-stop shop.
It is,
for
yeah,
birth.
very whole.
Yeah.
It feels like you're covering the whole
Yes.
person.
So I have like all the resources to for other professions, pelvic floor therapy,
I was
chiropractic,
gonna
all of
ask
that.
about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
I
good.
have all of that. Like I definitely have people that I recommend.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And I love when we get women in this space and they get to see kind of the difference in a birth center, but also find that community, find their village.
Yeah. Well, that is really exciting. I'm hopeful that the women of Provo will be aware. And it's important for these women to be aware whether or not they're in the pregnancy stage of life.
Yes.
Because then they can spread the word and help other moms become aware.
Yeah,
Right? Like
yeah.
that's definitely one of our well, we can use it for bad called gossiping, right? But we can also use it for good
Yes,
in
yeah.
cases like this of like spreading the word of the good things.
And we do have
resources available.
events
So-
for like
Oh, good.
postpartum moms or like sound baths and just things for moms. I would really like to start a group for dads.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not we can get dads there.
Yeah, that well, and part of it is awareness because
Yes.
we don't talk to each other about those
Right.
things.
Yes, definitely.
So-
I think any of that, but there are a ton of events often that we have there. And so that being able to even just come in for an event, no matter what phase of motherhood you're in,
Yeah.
is I really like that part of that, the community.
Yes.
Yeah.
The community or mom unity, as we like
Yes.
to say. We're
I like that.
play people.
Yes, I like it.
Well, Stacey, it has just been delightful to have you. I'm so
Thank you
glad
so
that
much.
you came, and having you in person is really fun. And I'm glad you weren't too alarmed when the lights went off. I kind of gave you
Yeah.
advance notice, but I thought that I had figured out how to solve that problem. But
That's all right. Enough light
so
from
be
the
it.
computer.
That's right. It's shining, and I should decide just not to wear my glasses during these because of the glare,
it's hard.
but such it is. So, well, thank you so much. And we hope that you'll be involved in our next convention as well.
Yeah.
We have October 25th. We just got the
Oh,
venue
perfect.
secured and have that date secured. And so
I look
we're excited
forward
to
it.
start moving forward with all of that.
Yeah.
So, and we'll see hopefully everybody there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely.